The scale of change needed to tackle global environmental issues can feel overwhelming. But by coming together, local communities are finding effective ways to deal with the threats on their doorstep. Today, we explore collaborative projects that prove sharing is caring. Hello and welcome to Eco India. I'm Sanuta Raghu. We start in southern Coimbatore, a city that, like many others in India, is worried about water. Scientists say the region's rivers are vanishing, while droughts increase and water tables drop. We met one man who decided to take action and save local water bodies, and then found surprising strength in numbers.
When a local NGO put out a call for help to clean up trash along a water tank in Tamil Nadu, it didn't expect 350 people to show up. Here's what it looked like before the cleanup and after. And it happened in less than 2 hours.
We have had 25 to 30,000 volunteers who have worked with us directly. People are keen to make a positive contribution to society. The hard part is organizing it.
Manikandan is the founder of the NGO called Kovai Kulangal Padagapu Amaipu. Its volunteers have been restoring water bodies across Coimbatore for the past 5 years. And this is how they do it. Suresh is in charge of getting all volunteers to arrive at the scene.
Come this way. Take masks, wear gloves, and sign in.
It's Manikandan's job to divide them up into various groups.
Hello, you are all there wearing gloves. Come this way, please.
Abu distributes supplies.
What about her?
And Gopi is in charge of documenting the process.
Group at the very last, please come closer.
It all started in 2017 when Coimbatore was facing a severe drought. Manikandan was determined to revive one of the city's driest water bodies.
It was the Perur tank. It hadn't received water for many years. We decided to clean the tank by removing plastics and invasive weeds in it. We began cleaning activities on the 12th of February 2017. In the first week, 50 showed up. But in the weeks after, 400 people showed up. In just a month, we finished cleaning the tank. We don't have a financial or political background, but we had volunteers who were ready to work for this. So we decided to clean up various water bodies every Sunday. So far, we have been working for 249 consecutive Sundays.
The organization has restored 4 large lakes, 9 small ponds and more. But if you ask Manikandan which project was hardest, he'll insist on taking you there, before he tells you the story behind it. Spread across 90 acres, the Velalur tank is one of Coimbatore's oldest. It's fed by the Noyalur River. For 15 years it remained dry because of 3 major problems.
There were lots of invasive weeds here, and the canal for water had been blocked. People had encroached on 4.5 of the 6.5 kilometer long canal on either side of the river banks. And garbage had been dumped into the check dams through which this tank receives water. These were the 3 problems.
In 2017, Manikandan and his team began cleaning the tank and its check dams. They also played a role in convincing 2,500 families settled along the river's banks to relocate to state housing. And then, for the first time in 17 years, the Velalur tank was full. Villages 2 kilometers away once lacked a reliable water source. But just a few months after the restoration was completed, locals noticed an increase in groundwater levels because the Velalur tank could now retain the water it received.
Back in the old days, we only farmed if it rained. If it didn't, we wouldn't farm. Since there is water in the tank, for the past 4 years, there's been water in our wells. We use a motor to pump out the water for farming.
I used to buy 200 to 300 liters of water every day. It's much better now because I can get water whenever I need it at home. My savings have increased as a result.
Once this tank was able to hold water again, it's not only people who have benefited from it and from the groundwater regenerating itself. This tank has now also become a habitat for various species.
That's because volunteers went beyond just cleaning the tank. They planted over 10,000 trees of native varieties using the Miyawaki method, a Japanese afforestation technique. This strip of forest protects the water in the tank. It's also attracted dozens of bird and butterfly species to the Vellore tank and the green zone surrounding it.
I cannot express the joy I had when I saw the tank fill up with water in 2018. We used to water these plants with water from lorries, but shortly after that, we used buckets to transfer the water from the tank for these plants.
அந்த மரம் கட்டாகாம நாம வெச்சு இந்த களைச்செடி மட்டும் எடுக்கணும் சரியா
1 inch 1 inch
To find volunteers, the NGO reaches out to schools and colleges. Yet its most powerful tool has been social media. By sharing its WhatsApp link and posting cleanup dates, it succeeded in bringing many young people together who wish to be a part of the process. Gopi is the perfect example. He joined when he was just a student. Today, he pitches in with his skills as a drone cinematographer.
When we are cleaning a particular lake, we choose a position and shoot it before the cleaning, after the cleaning, and after the water gets restored. We then present it to companies looking to fund organizations. At the same time, we show it to the government officials. This helps us get access to CSR opportunities and allows us to continue our work with government approval in other locations.
Instead of us approaching people about this, they are becoming aware on their own. There is a young boy who volunteers with us. If you ask him, what do you want to be when you grow up? He says, like you, I'll go plant trees and save lakes. But what will you do for food? He replied, I'll go home and eat. We are seeing such positive changes amongst children.
When it is organization-driven work, the effects are usually low. But here, since people get their hands dirty, they feel this is my home, I'll keep it clean.
it is more effective.
The protection of water bodies requires more than restoration. Increasing encroachment, waste dumping, effluent discharge, and lack of proper maintenance by civic bodies are just some of the major problems.
If you pollute near a well in a village, the people will drive you out. But if someone dirties a tank here, nobody raises questions because, unlike the villagers, nobody drinks this water. The government is spending crores of rupees to revive lakes in Coimbatore, but had it made efforts to make that very water consumable, people would begin to care.
Manikandan has succeeded in uniting people who care about water. Now he has his sights set on restoring the Noyal River, which is the backbone of modern-day Coimbatore. This river that passes through 4 districts and feeds 25 tanks is under threat.
Coimbatore city itself is on the banks of the Noyal River, but we don't drink from it. Instead, we take water from Bhavani or Alia River. The number of days the water flows through this river is decreasing each day. We want to increase it, and that's what we are now working towards.
Volunteer organizations like Manikandan's help spread awareness about the urgent need to save local water bodies. Tamil Nadu has over 200,000 tanks and other irrigation sources, but less than 90,000 of them are in use. It will take a collective effort from the government and citizens to save water for future generations.
To the Netherlands now, and a new town taking shape near Amsterdam. Here, it's the residents who call the shots when it comes to planning and development, rather than the municipal authorities. The goal is to foster innovative and sustainable lifestyle options while encouraging local food production. Is it utopic? We visited Oosterwold to find out.
Sawdust fills the air at this building site around 30 kilometers from Amsterdam. The crew is hard at work. Where now the wind sweeps across the meadow, there will soon be a school for 60 children. Every screw, every fixture is being put in by the parents themselves. One of them is Floris Molenbeek, whose 2 children will attend the school.
We started only 3 weeks ago, and we are already that far.
Houses, streets, parks, playgrounds. The residents are building and developing the 43 square kilometer area themselves. Almere Oosterwolde is an organically growing city and a unique experiment in the Netherlands. The idea is to give people more freedom to create their own living space. Architect Klaas Hofman started the project over 10 years ago.
It's not only freedom, it's also a responsibility. And usually in these kind of normal urban developments, the responsibility is mostly at the developer's side or the municipality's side. It's kind of organized top-down. And in Oosterwolde, this is completely put upside down.
The plan is to have an unplanned city. One of the few rules is that Oosterwolde has to be green. Less than 1/3 of the land can be developed, and every resident is expected to use half of their land for urban farming to encourage biodiversity.
We wanted to kind of introduce a strategy to develop housing in a green environment that would kind of preserve the qualities of the green environment while still allowing people to live inside of it.
Over 1,000 residential units have already sprung up in the countryside east of Amsterdam. For Floris Molenbeek and his family, receiving the subsidy for the parcel of land was a dream come true. Since the house was finished, they've spent a lot of time organizing community life, building the school, and working in the vegetable garden. Once a week, Floris Molenbeek goes into the fields and marks the plots with harvest-ready vegetables.
We are a CSA, a community-supported agriculture, and that means that we are producing vegetables for about 50 households.
If the harvest is plentiful, everyone gets more, and they also share the risk of a bad crop. Once a week, community members can pick vegetables in the garden. A message on their phone tells them how many and which ones. Neighbor Alex Heemskerk comes by regularly.
This is just uncomparable in terms of quality. Like, it doesn't have any pesticides on it. They put a lot of love and attention and effort in it. I know them very well personally, so it makes just a big difference in the experience, but also the quality of the food for me.
Community, exchange, original ideas. But there are also challenges in creating Oosterwolde.
You could say it's a social experiment, and that people are not always used that they have to work together. Like, usually it's government laid down, like you can do this, you cannot do that, it's gonna be like this and like that. And here people have to do it themselves, and sometimes it just takes a bit of a learning curve because people have to figure out how to do that.
A few kilometers away, in the community shop, Marianne Abspoel and neighbor Marion van Maren display the selection of homemade honey, jams, and cheese, all produced in Oosterwolde. Abspoel is one of the original settlers. Hundreds of different plants grow in his wild-looking garden on the other side of the street.
Mostly the land is bare when you buy it, so if you can give seeds to the land, then there are all kind of native plants and trees will start to grow, and that is very helpful for biodiversity and making a good ecosystem.
Abspoel collects and dries the seeds of his plants and later hands them out among the Oosterwolders. A self-taught forester, he believes nature is the thing that links every resident, regardless of their chosen lifestyle. Oosterwolde is expected to grow over the next few years. The plan is to create space for 15,000 houses and 40,000 people. Prices for the new plots have multiplied. Abspoel is worried that the inclusive idea that anyone could be a part of the community is in danger.
We feel it also as a responsibility for us to realize that there will be a mixed community with also people with low salaries and starting people with young children. And they cannot afford housing. That's really a problem.
The settlement is attracting attention, not least from property developers. Some have built terraced houses on the plots in the middle of Oosterwolde, selling them at high prices while ignoring the tradition of building your own home with an urban garden. The introduction of more regulations from the city has also stirred resentment among residents. And yet, demand to be part of the experiment is huge. Today, there are 10 times the number of applications than there are plots available. That doesn't surprise the parents on the school committee. In addition to a beautiful place to live, they found a real community.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Oosterwold, that there are a lot of equally minded people, and have the spirit to build things and build also the community, and it's a really strong and powerful community. So that is also, that's one of the things I really like and love about Oosterwold.
In 2 weeks, lessons for the little ones are due to get underway. Until then, there's a lot to do. But cooperation is second nature to the people of Oosterwold.
Well, that type of neighborly spirit is at the heart of the sharing economy. A model where people rent or borrow the things they need rather than buy and own them. That not only helps them save money, it also has a positive impact on the environment. The concept is taking off in Indian cities. We had a look around in Delhi to explore the lifestyle a little more.
Looking for something special, for a dress she will only be wearing once, on her wedding day. But Juhi is not out shopping. She is visiting Flyrobe, a clothing rental. It is an outlet that gives you the option to rent clothes for a one-off occasion and for half the price of buying the outfit.
Being conscious about what we buy, where we spend our money, and is it really worth it? For that time period when you're actually going to be wearing it, and then you don't need them after that, you're never going to wear it to anybody else's wedding, so might as well let it be a circular economy.
India has the world's largest population of millennials, like Juhi. It is a demographic that is increasingly drawn towards renting rather than purchasing assets. Young people in cities tend to be more socially, financially, and environmentally aware, and they are embracing the flexibility and affordability of the rental or shared economy model. Given that more than 1 million tons of textiles are thrown away each year, environmentalists see it as a positive trend.
Now, the one way to reduce that is to reduce consumption of materials. Now, rental economy provides that opportunity. If the same product, which the market is trying to sell to everyone, can be sold to many people and everyone can fulfill their need, then you have proportionately reduced the environmental impact.
Between 2016 and 2019, more than 100 online rental companies sprung up in India. Traditionally, rental businesses meant small units in unorganized markets. Now, swanky rental outlets provide a wide range of occasion wear for rent through high street stores and online apps. Alongside clothing rental, furniture is the other segment spearheading the shared economy in India. The domestic market for rented furniture is worth around 800 million euros. Ashish is booking a dining table for his home in Gurgaon. He's opted for City Furnish, an online platform for furniture and branded appliances. The table is assembled at his home. This works well for Ashish. He's a consultant and often has to relocate to a different city. Practically everything in his current house, from furniture to appliances, is rented. Right now, he's paying about 160 euros a month. Buying the same furniture would have cost up to 10,000 euro.
Well, the hassle of owning furniture versus renting it out. These days, furniture models keep changing. Just the sheer convenience of going on to their app on the phone, selecting your furniture, booking it, having it delivered, just saved a lot of time and effort.
Furniture rental in India has grown 5 times in the last 3 years, according to Nirav Jain, founder of City Furnish. He collected data on rental apartments. More than 80% of apartments in India are either semi-furnished or unfurnished.
So if any tenant is moving into a rental apartment, his majority of chances are that he will be moving into an unfurnished place. So all those are ideal target segment for furniture rental. So that's how we arrive at this number, that there are 9 crore people living in this metro rental apartments, of which 80% are unfurnished, and that's an ideal market for furniture rental.
When it comes to wooden and metal furniture, it usually gets used for a longer period of time, but still around 3 million tons of furniture waste ends up in India's landfills every year. Old furniture markets like this one in Delhi can be found in most cities where the old is refurbished and sold at a discount. But the challenge still lies in meeting the demands for new furniture sustainably.
There is illegal primary forest timber which is coming from across the world, including Southeast Asia, to India and China. In fact, China would be the big illegal market. Now, refurbishing furniture means that we are reducing that illegal logging that is happening. We are reducing the number of trees that we are cutting. We are reducing, the land requirement for growing those trees.
To protect the forests in India, the government introduced the Forest Stewardship Standard, or FSS, in 2022 to confirm that forests are being managed sustainably. Together with growing trend of renting instead of buying, it is an important step towards maintaining a more environmentally conscious consumer behavior in India.
The sharing economy already works like a well-oiled machine in the German capital. Borrowing things in Berlin from a store or from neighbors has never been so easy, thanks to the digital platforms that connect owners with seekers of goods and services.
Albrecht Trübenbacher has clearly done this many times before. He's putting together his bike trailer so that he can lend it to a neighbor, for free, of course. That's nothing out of the ordinary for him. He regularly lends out his belongings. Garden equipment, tools, a child's mattress for sleep-ins. If he lends his neighbors these things, so goes his thinking. They won't have to buy them.
I don't see this as being anti-consumerist. It's about sustainability. These things are used so rarely. If you use something a lot, then buying something makes increasing sense.
The two men got to know each other via an online neighborhood platform. More than 1.6 million users are connected to people living in their vicinity via nebenan.de. People use it to lend and borrow stuff, to swap information, or to offer help. The startup was set up in Berlin in 2015. The portal is free of charge for users. The company funds itself via donations and small ads placed by companies in the respective neighborhoods. Jan Gerlach offers high-quality tools for €1.50 an hour. You can reserve them via an app. Toolbot is built around the classic business model of the sharing economy, where companies earn money by renting items out for a particular period of time.
It used to play a role how big your record collection was, and you needed your own car to get anywhere. And if you had a lot of books in your shelves, you possessed a lot of knowledge. Today we have Wikipedia, car sharing, there's Netflix, and Spotify. What you have isn't important anymore. It's having access to things that's crucial, and that's why the status and the role of belongings is different today.
Anya Schwartz is one of his customers. She's a dancer who travels around the world a lot for her work. For small household tasks, she borrows what she needs from Toolbot, an electric drill in this instance, even though she could buy one if she wanted. She managed to borrow, use, and return the tool within an hour.
€1.50 is a lot less than the price of a drill, and I can always come here and borrow it again. That means I can get it as often as I need it.
Jan Gerlach is launching a crowd investment campaign to help him grow his business. He believes his model could also work with other items and on an international basis. Despite social distancing, the lockdown actually brought Albrecht Trübenbacher and his neighbors closer together in many ways. They redecorated the apartment of a neighbor who was ill and helped out with odd jobs. All that for free.
The concept of sharing and collaboration is at the heart of nature. Take a colony of ants or a pack of wolves, a school of fish or communities of humans. Sharing pools knowledge so that the group as a whole can survive and thrive. What are you doing to collaborate with a community near you for a greener, sustainable planet? Let us know at ecoindia@dw.com. Until next week, goodbye and thanks for watching.